Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
It's not over till that bitch is dead.
Let's delve into that a bit deeper.
I'm going to be like the peacekeeper between you two tonight.
Yeah, fuck with the original.
Yeah, don't fuck with the original.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast, part of the You Run Podcast Network. My name is Katie, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Chantal. Hi, Chantal.
Hi.
So we're going to be doing something a little different for you guys for the next month or so. We've decided to do a little mini-series covering some of the incredible films showcased at the UK Film Festival FrightFest. We're so excited to introduce you to these films and give you a bit of insight, our insight. Thanks so much for listening and enjoy.
Okay, so we did save this one for last on purpose because it is called Happy Halloween, and we are officially in October, so we can officially start getting ready for spooky season. Hence our bloody cocktails.
Made by Chantal, can we just say? Look how good these are.
Your blood drip is doing a lot better than mine. What is happening with mine?
I'm drinking out of a straw.
Oh yeah, that'll do
This
it.
is the
Sorry, sidestep. So
I think Britt will appreciate it.
I think Brett, yeah. we're in the mood. Okay, so directed by Brittany Greer. A small Midwestern town celebrates its 300th birthday. How young is America? With festivities including a Halloween dance and corn maze. The previous All Hallows Eve, Hadley Briggs survived a brutal attack by her ex-boyfriend, which put him in prison. But now, a new series of slayings has started, with the masked perpetrator making grisly decorations out of their victims' body parts. Soon, Hadley and her friends find themselves ensnared in a deadly game with a mysterious maniac who haunts their every move, leaving a trail of terror in their wake. With heart-pounding suspense and a bone-chilling thrills, a pulse-racing journey for survival. So, Katie, what did you think of this one?
You know what? It delivered on everything a slasher should deliver on. Also, I know this is so fucking obvious, but it really did get me into the Halloween mood. Like, it had every single thing about Halloween in it. Like, everything was fucking orange. It was great.
Every time you saw orange, you're like, orange, there's orange.
There's orange.
That's orange.
She's wearing orange.
The car's orange. That hello's orange.
The car was orange.
We should have made it a drinking game.
I'm sorry,
Every time we
I'm
saw
so sorry.
orange, take a shot.
Yeah, we should have done. We'll rewatch it. We'll watch it.
Oh, those pumpkins.
So many. Yeah, look
So
at all
many
those
pumpkins.
pumpkins.
We had a lot of fun watching this film, can you tell?
Yeah, can you tell? But I know obviously that's its purpose, but it really did get me in the Halloween mood.
No, it did.
Like, yeah, so good. In terms of just like the themes of it. And I think like slasher wise as well, I think that it really did deliver on a lot of those classic stereotypical things that you want in a slasher, because me and Tal are such huge fans of slashers. When Charlie was with us, she was kind of always like, why do you guys like them so much?
What is happening?
But I think because they're such a good escapism, and they're kind of silly, but they're just, slashers are the reason why I love horror so much. And they just make me so happy. So seeing a lot of those kind of stereotypes put in this film, you can tell that like the writers, directors, the producers are huge horror fans, or certainly slasher fans, because there was a lot of like reference in there. But what did you think?
I think, as you say, it's just a lot of fun. It was like we both watched it, and then we wanted to review it again tonight. So we watched it again so that we could kind of be fresh, because sometimes unfortunately we do watch these films way ahead of time. But it just meant that we were like watching it together with a bit of a drink, and it actually just felt like the perfect vibe to be watching this film for. We were kind of taking the mickey out of some of the characters, but again, that's kind of what slashers are for, because they're making stupid decisions. And I think that's the thing with slashers, you always feel like they'd be so easy to survive, because you're like, why are you doing that? Why are you on your own? Why are you doing all these cliches? And it was just that, it was hitting all of them. So in a way that you feel like you can just tease the characters, and you can, some of them make comments and you're like, wow, what a dick. But they're supposed to be. That's how they're written. They're not all supposed to be likable characters.
No. Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be... Yeah, you can tell they have fun making these films.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was very enjoyable, a bit too long, although this says it's only 96 minutes. But you and I were saying, like, when you get to like an hour 20, that should be it for a slasher. Like, call it. Like, it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to keep going and keep going, because there's only so long you can keep laughing for. So it's like, okay, let's call it. So yeah, I think that was kind of its downfall a bit was that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it did. It was probably a bit too long, and that is definitely the downfall. But I think in general, like, what you want from a slasher, and also like incorporating obviously Halloween and that awesome aesthetic. It's every horror fan's going to be into something to do with this film, because it's Halloween and it's horror, it's a slasher. Like, there'll be something for somewhat kind of horror fan in here, I think.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head. It's just a little bit of everything. And I think, and again, like, you can literally read that. It's a small western town celebrates its birthday, festivities, Halloween dance, a group of teenagers. Like, you're like, you could be describing 10 different slashers. And so you do go through those kind of like slasher rules, those slasher cliches. You have your 5 stereotypical, the jock, the geek, which again, a friendship group that would never happen in school.
They would never be friends.
They would never be friends, to the point that one of them ends up in an argument with the group he should be hanging out with. But because he's got to be in the horror slasher, he's not in that group. And it's so funny.
That's not the rules.
That's not the rules.
No, we sound like Randy from Scream right now.
We do.
That's not the rules.
We are Randy from Scream. I swear to God, if Ghostface walks in behind me right now. It just, you could literally,
for sure.
I think at one point as well, they played a note. There was like a note in the music, and you and I both went, that's the Halloween note.
Yeah, it was very much, you could tell like there was a lot of influence from obviously the 1978 Halloween. I think like even with certain scenes where in Halloween, where like Laurie's walking and she walks past all the pumpkins and it's just a scene of her, like it was very much mirrored. Which I think was great, because there was one house with a lot of pumpkins.
Like our dream house.
Yeah, I mean, it was great.
It was incredible.
Yeah, the production on that, like incredible. The pumpkin budget must have.
Do we need more pumpkins? Yes.
Yes, always.
It was almost like a comedy skit where you kind of thought it was going to stop, and then the more pumpkins came out, and you and I were in stitches. But like in a delighted way.
Yes.
We were like, there's so many pumpkins.
Yeah.
You might as well have been at a pumpkin patch.
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we just live in England and we don't decorate enough for Halloween.
Yeah, maybe not.
So those houses went full out.
They did. Yeah, it was amazing.
I think something else we said as well was like towards the end, again, you always have the kind of like big showdown and typically ends up with characters in costume, but they had the most budget school, like, high school costumes. And that was so believable to me, because again, that is one thing with like horror films, is whenever they're like, oh, we're gonna have a costume party, everyone looks fucking incredible. Everyone's wearing costumes that cost £200.
Yeah.
Like minimum. And you're like, you're fucking kids. Where are you getting this money from?
Like, how does your outfit look so good?
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, those scenes are incredible. But this one, like, you and I were like, oh, they're really playing it down. And we're like, but actually, that's way more realistic.
Yeah.
For like a high school dance.
Yeah, for sure. Way more. Yeah, I did like that, because back in the days of Halloween parties, they are shit. Like, you are wearing a shit costume.
I have a red cape on, I'm obviously the devil.
Yeah, I have cat ears and that's it.
Yeah, I maybe draw on whiskers if I had eyeliner.
If I could be bothered. Yeah. Then so it was very realistic to that, like bare minimum sort of costumes.
Which looks so funny in a film. It looks so out of place, but
it does,
the reality is that's life. Like so I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, spot on.
Yeah, definitely.
A pair of wings and one of them keeps going the wrong way. You're like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes. Oh yes.
None of us terrified too with the perfect costume.
Yeah, I know.
It's just not doable.
No, it's not. It's just not realistic. But yeah, I mean, do you have, apart from all the pumpkins, do you have a wow moment in the film? Is there one scene that stands out to you?
I did like a couple of the kills. So I'm just double checking. I don't know. Yeah, so it does say it in the plot, making grisly decorations out of their victims' body parts. there was one or two of those decorations that were fucking great. Like the SFX team did really good on that. Actually, I don't even know if that would be SFX or props, probably a combo of the both. But they did really well on that. I liked that as a concept because again, it's called Happy Halloween. You're like, are they kidding for a reason? Is there is there more to this, or do they just want to make pretty decorations?
Yeah.
So I think that was, I think some of the kills were quite good. I was a bit gutted. I know it's a wow moment, so I'm going the wrong way, but I was a bit gutted like the beginning. It's not really a spoiler because it happens in like the first 30 seconds, but a person ends up with Happy Halloween carved into his chest. And then they zoom out and write Happy Halloween on the screen. I was like, no, zoom in to his chest where it was already written. Like, I was really gutted. I really wanted that, like,
that would have been good.
Expanded on the screen. I thought that would have been good.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you can't win them all.
You can't.
What about you?
For me, I mean, I kind of just want to say the whole Halloween vibe, but that's very, like, broad. So I won't say that. All the orange.
You're well moving.
Yeah, no, I think... Actually, I am going to say the intro because it did remind me of, I guess, Scream, where there's always a kill kind of at the beginning.
Yeah, true.
With a, that's a character that's sort of slightly related in some way to the main group. So I felt like there was a lot of Scream influence there. Yeah. And I really enjoyed seeing the different kind of slasher references throughout the film. So you know, like, you're in good hands when you are watching something that like the directors and the writers are clearly slasher fans. Yeah. So I feel like that's always nice. You're sort of in a comfortable place there. Yeah. So I think the intro was good because it not only does it remind you of other slasher films, but I think it's also like, okay, this is just going to be a fun ride. Yeah. So that's how I felt. I felt like when you're not looking too much into kind of like the kind of acting side of it, or like so much like the storyline and things like that, like, although they were fun, I think when you're just looking at it as like a fun Halloween film, then it's everything you want it to be, really. So what would you give that out of 5? I will give it, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Okay. I think just a fun ride. And just I think just good, a fun sort of low budget decent slasher film. And I think it was perfect for this evening, perfect as like what we call like a pizza party. I think it's perfect for that kind of thing. Yeah. So if you're a fan of slashers, I'd say, like, give it a go. Like, there's going to be something in there for you. Yeah. What about you? Annoyingly, I think I'm going to say the same. And I sound like I'm just copying you all the time, but you are right. No, but I think 3 is fair because, as you say, like, it's not going to be horror movie of the year, but it is, it is a really fun movie. It is a really fun film that I could see a lot of people actually watching over Halloween and just kind of getting in the mood. I think there were a couple of bits that let it down. Maybe a little bit of the writing. I get writing sounds harsh, but like a little bit of the story where it was a little bit like, okay, well, why are they killing? So there was a little bits that could have been kind of looked over a little bit. But again, I think you're always a bit more forgiving when it's a slasher. Yeah, because it doesn't have to be like the cleverest, like the smartest film. It doesn't have to have the most clever plot. But I would have liked it to have just been a little bit more fine-tuned. But yeah. So I think we've already kind of said who we'd recommend it to. Yeah, slasher fans. Yeah, there's no arguing that. Yeah, no, I think that's slasher fans, people trying to get in the mood for Halloween, people who love orange. If you love pumpkins, if you love an orange vibe, then give this film more watch. I'd say. Again, I've said it before, but again, like if you're new to horror, I think it's I always recommend slashers for new to horror fans. But that backfired with Charlie because that was what she could handle. So you never know. So do go enjoy it and enjoy Halloween and enjoy Happy Halloween. And yes, thank you so much for supporting us on this very long journey. Keep an eye out for what we've got next coming. Yeah. I've had to restrict.